Hi, Mom. Her camera isn't on because she's probably quilting. And I just wanted to prepare the space by looking you all in your angelic eyes. Whoa. My speech is prepared. I know how long it is, so I'm going to take another minute to dedicate this to Hector Marcel. Thank you for being a well of wisdom for us to all drink from. Santi Wang, if I had an ounce of your coolness, I don't know, I'd have a job at Nike, I don't know. And then Sachi, there's another Rachel, and Rachel Abrams, thank you for onboarding me a year ago to be a Karma Yogi. That was the first entrance into Three Jewels, which then led me into an ACI, and what Hector said in this room 10 months ago completely changed my life. So I'm gonna tell you about it right now. My name is Jennifer Martin, but you can call me Jenny. As just like my name, my identity is not fixed. I have been, among many things, a Division I swimmer, an arts gallery director on cruise ships, a director of yoga events back in my hometown of Kansas City, and now I'm a New Yorker. Respectfully. And while my identity is not fixed, it is informed by all the hats and all the masks that I've worn in the past. And these masks have become part of my awareness since I was about 18, and I've been studying myself ever since at varying degrees. So what I'm about to share with you today are the 3 times I've really cranked up that notch, or what I like to call my 3 waves of spiritual awakening. It gets better. I'm gonna invite you to do the gesture with me. Let's all practice together and imagine a rainbow. Ready? Spiritual awakening. Oh, you're such good students. Let's start with college swimming. Right before college, I lost some weight. I gained some attention. I lost more weight. I gained more attention. I lost a lot of weight. And my attention was completely choked by my obsession and fear of gaining weight. Guess what happened? To quote Charlie Sheen, untreated crazy over time doesn't get better, it gets worse. Didn't know he was such a Buddha. And yeah, like Charlie Sheen, worse my addictions got. But like a good addict, I made an escape plan, which brings me to my first wave of ready spiritual awakening. Travel. No, I did not go to ayahuasca and do Peru, whatever. I said that the wrong way, but you got what I said. No, that's how I think of the people who do a lot of ayahuasca. Anyways, I didn't go to Peru. I haven't yet, but I did work on cruise ships and art galleries, and I did teach English to kindergartners in South Korea for the majority of my early 20s. And these were the years that I worked and lived and socialized with people from all walks of life, many of whom went down far more treacherous paths than I, and yet they were the happiest people I've ever met. Because at the time, I was mostly concerned about myself and those who directly concerned me. So travel not only expanded my worldview, it cracked open my heart too, and I became friends with foreigners as a foreigner, and I learned the language of empathy. Now, travel offered just a little bit of novelty and streaks of reprieve for my eating disorder, but it was not enough to fix me. Because things have to get a lot worse before they get any better, which leads me to my second wave of spiritual awakening. Can anyone tell me what GOM means? And that also means to meditate. Okay, cool. I was hoping you guys would say meditation first, but yeah, I meditated. And it's not like I was like tripping billies on my cushion and getting all the secrets to the universe in my first sit, but I had some profound changes. I was starting at 5 to 15, and at a year's time, I was practicing for about an hour at a time. And just like my jobs, I was trying on guided medis like hats. And I noticed a huge difference. For one, my insatiable hunger softened, and I stopped purging. I stopped binge drinking. I stopped making silly decisions with boys. And I became a better listener. I became a little less selfish. I also lost all of my friends, and then I gained so much more. And then I gave all of that up to make it in New York City, which brings me to my third and my final wave of spiritual awakening. So you know how I started this talk? Well, when I moved here in June of 2023, my whole spiel, I made a conscious decision to change from Jenny, the yoga teacher, she's a cool girl, she parties hard, to Jennifer, the New Yorker, sophisticated and sober. Yeah, that rebrand completely bombed. And yet I was meditating. I was still meditating. For the first time in my adult life, I was completely sober, and yet I was still feeding my mind with toxicities every day. My eating disorder came back with so much vengeance, and I just couldn't find a hat to fit this version of me. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I think I miss Jenny. And then I learned that there is no me. That if I can change my identity like I changed my jobs, who says that my mind can't get demoted? And that when I was compounding fearful thoughts of being broke, being lonely, being diseased, those thought patterns started to reflect in my reality. So when I started evaluating my every thought, word, and action as a marker on a virtue meter, everything changed. Now, I am not saying that I'm awakened. I am definitely not saying that I'm woke. But these three practices have irrevocably changed my consciousness, and that travel allowed me to open my mind and learn empathy on a new level. Now, you don't need to get a plane ticket. This is New York City. I came from white suburbia. And so the first time that I engaged and made friends with people who didn't look like me, who didn't talk like me, who weren't raised like me, it allowed me to find that curiosity. And that curiosity was the key I needed to start meditating. And that meditation practice became the foundation for me to start understanding and practicing the concepts of karma and emptiness. So my hope for you is that you won't have to suffer the consequences of living in compounded fear. That you can receive the kindness that surrounds you and take pleasure in adding your own delicious flavor of this into the mix of this human experience. My name is Jennifer Martin, but you can call me whatever you'd like.